I'm live! Well, let me check. Oh, wait. I've been told by my kids I don't have a heart. So that wouldn't be a good way to make sure I was alive. But yes, this is the first video from Theory of Operation, where I will try to go through shit with you and give you the ideas of how shit like this is supposed to work. Because after all, instructions are needless. All you really need to know is how it's supposed to work. But let me give you a brief view of the shop. I'm sure you're already tired of my hideous face. The real reason is I want to get a better link to this page for tomorrow, where I will be doing a 3-hour knife challenge, like in Forged in Fire. Well, this is the shop. This table is my grinding station, my wire wheel hog off station. It's a sander blade, metal cutoff, clamps. They're mainly for my kids' mouths, but works great when I'm making a new sheath. Mainly I do sword shit. And there's my MIG welder. And of course you have to have a source of air. Apparently my kids, they're too full of hot air and things kept on flying off. And forging during the spring or fall, that is required. Then of course I got scrap wood back there, scrap all sorts of shit. Never throw anything out because sooner or later it's gonna come in handy. Tabletop saw. That saw is a pain in the ass. It's bit me. I really can't see it, but oh yeah, you can. Right there. It was so bad the doctors didn't know how to put it back together. First doctor comes in, looks at it, turns it every which way, pokes it, prods it, walks out, comes in with 2 other doctors. And they're mumbling against each other, and I finally go, okay, what the hell's going on? They said, we have no idea how to put it back together. And of course, I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. And there's a lathe. As you can tell, the lathe doesn't get used that much. Why? Because that center wheel sucks. Now, don't feel like buying a new one. Storage. See the metal there? It's going to be part of the show tomorrow. Currently in the process of making a violin out of steel. That's the little mold that I pounded into. And of course, you need a 20-ton press. Of course, this one is pneumatic. And of course, I have 2 different presses there. I got that one, which is a flatter, and then I got this one, which you can see it's rounded. That allows it to push the metal both ways. And there is my smelter. This smelter has not been used all summer long and needs to get relined. But it has 2 nozzles, which get it up to roughly around 2,000 degrees. I don't know, I can smelt copper without much problem. And then here's the forge. This forge can be used as a 4-burner, 3-burner, 2-burner, or a 1-burner. As you see this, that comes off. Well, that's how you put all the shit in. Now you're probably wondering what the hell this is for. And why do you have that welded there? Well, that, the trick is for doing the heat treats on the bigger blades. You know what, I'm just going to switch the camera around. Where's that button? When you're doing a heat treat on the bigger blades, you need to be able to heat the entire blade the same, all at once. Otherwise, you get hard parts, weak parts, and then those harder parts are where it's going to actually snap. Like you've seen him so many times on Forged in Fire. So, I have 2 of these, which that one I had to use the Kailwool to reline the forge. This one still has the Kailwool. That is the top one. This one gets bolted to the back end of the forge. That one gets bolted on top of that one. And then this sits on the ground. And it aims straight up. So the burners are going this way. Well, is there a way you can lock this thing? I don't know. But there's the inside. Unfortunately, birdies seem to think that a forge makes a lovely house. Given well insulated. 2 inches of Kailwool. It keeps in 2,500 degrees when I'm going on the 4 burners. So maybe it's a little cooler during the summer. And then there is my 40-gallon tank of, what the hell is this shit called? Propane. Speaking of which, did you notice this tube? Well, you see that? This is actually a mess. Yeah, kid's handprint. Okay, that's not actually a kid's handprint. Han pissed me off, so while he was in carbonite, I had to cut it off. Call him Stumpy for me. But this is the hot box, and because the holes from the pipe are so small down in there, yeah, it's right there, it's where the pipe goes in, that it blows all the crap out instead of letting it fall down into it like the other hot boxes. Now you'd think, hell, what the hell are you doing, Sarah? That metal isn't even strong enough to weld. Well, the metal in the hot box is a lot thicker. And you gotta think about it. All the 90% of the heat is going straight up. So, this is actually not as hot as you would think. You can get away with a lot thinner metal. And of course, the tiki torch. Actually, there. The mosquito repellent thing. I live in the South. What the hell do you expect? And the heart of the forge. The anvil. Actually, this anvil is probably the oldest thing on this block. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's on this side. Yeah, let's see here. Let's move. What the hell is this thing? Okay. Right there. 1840. I can't make that out. I think it's a 5. But it's had a lot of damage. It's either that or it's 184 pounds. But I've weighed it. It's only 120. And I highly doubt just this right here weighed some 40 pounds. But here is my handy dandy 2 by 72 inch grinder. Yes, the belt is old. But with this, you got 2 parts to here. You have the face on it, which is where you're working right here. However, you're not always just working on the flat end. Sometimes you need somewhat of a contour, so you go right here. Or if you have a shape that's sways, you go right here. Or like you're doing the edge of a handle. It's perfect. It makes sure so there's no sharp edges. Then this bottom one is just the work one, or the work stand. You can undo that, take it off. This is for tightening this. And see that spring right there? You know those dog lines that have those springs on it? Well, that's where I got that spring. Then we have a motor from a, what the hell is that thing called? Treadmill. And that turns this, or drives that one, which turns that pulley. And if you look, you can see that pulley has an angle to it. That allows it to center. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Oh, and it is variable speed. So some wood you have to go slower so you don't burn it. Or sometimes you just want to do a little bit. Not just hog the shit off. So that comes in handy. But it's wanting to stay right there right now because of this one. Oops, turned the wrong way. Yeah, so I had to set to a different belt and I didn't want to turn it. But the way that works, it's trying to keep it right on that edge. As you can see, skateboard wheels. There goes my water. Lovely thing. It's got a fan. Keeps it nice and cool. And then, of course, we got all sorts of hammers. Now, you'll hear people talk a lot about peens. These are cross peens. Because when you hit it, it has a cross on it, or crosswise, and doosh, it pushes the metal to both sides. Where this is curved completely. It's like a big round, well, a dome, not really a ball, that pushes everything out equally in all directions, known as a rounding hammer. This one, you can see it's flat. That's more for evening shit out. And again, another cross peen. Those are both 4-pounders. Then I also have a 3-pounder cross peen, flattened. But here's my trusty go-to. It is a 2-pound flat hammer and ball hammer. Or rounding hammer. Yeah. Borax. The cheap shit. Boratic acid. The expensive shit. And the mess. You know those paper cutters that always go around on Facebook? About, do you know what this is? Yeah, it's a paper cutter. Use it all the time for cutting sandpaper of all things. Yes, of course, I got a sword sticking out. Places for more hammers. And you name it, pretty much got it. And of course, safety shit. No, Empty Child's not here. No, it's not taco night. It just works great for when you're really hogging some wood off. Keeps the shit out of your eyes, out of your mouth, and all that. Welding helmet, goggles, and headphones so I can listen to my music while I work. And that thing really sucks, and it blows. That coffin looking thing, that is the tempering oven. With that oven, I can heat it up to keep it around 500 degrees or so to cook the steel after it's been heat treated to ease it out so it's not so brittle. Then I have a wire wheel, grinder slash buffer. That thing right there is probably older than 90% of the people that will be watching this. Yes, back then they knew how to make shit work and last. Unlike nowadays, where no matter how much you pay, it lasts for about a week and then it dies. Then you have to fight with someone half a world away about, hey, the shit ain't working. It needs to get fixed. There's a warranty. And all that loveliness. And also for working when it's dark out, I have actually a hospital light. You know, lights above hospital beds? Yep, that's what it is. And right there, really can't see it because there is well, it's quite bright, but that is a 4-inch LED light for shining up my main work area. But now I can get myself a link to my own page, and it is time to go eat. That's the shop. Yes. Before fucking up my back, I was a master architect, so yeah, I had a lot of fucking tools. Still do. And goodbye. How do you shut this fucking thing off?